जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। बोलिए जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम राम। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, कृष्ण जन्माष्टमी महामहोत्सव की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, गौर भक्त वृंद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Udanpo, can I speak in English? Everybody knows English, or you want to translate in some local language?
No, English is fine, Prabhuji, for everyone.
Okay. So I'm very happy to be in Simachalam today with all the devotees in Germany on the very holy occasion of Krishna Janmashtami. You see the word Krish means to attract. Na means to bestow happiness. So Krishna means one who attracts and gives happiness. That's the meaning of the word Krishna. And Maya means one who attracts everybody to herself and gives a punch on the nose or gives suffering. So both are attractive. Krishna is attractive, Maya is also attractive. But the difference is Krishna attracts and bestows ocean of happiness. And Maya attracts and plunges us in ocean of suffering. Therefore, intelligent human beings are those who inquire about the goal of life, purpose of life, how I can become truly happy. You see, if you ask anybody in this world, what is one thing that you are looking for? It will be the same answer all across the globe. Go to any country. We all are looking for happiness. And another question you ask them, how much happiness you are looking for? Everybody will say, you ask them, you want this much or this much? They will say, we want this much happiness. Unlimited happiness. Again, the third question you ask them, what is one thing that you don't want? You ask them, you want this much suffering? This much suffering? They will say 0. We want no suffering. So these 3 questions I told you. What are you looking for? Happiness. How much happiness? Unlimited happiness. How much suffering? 0 suffering. You ask anybody. So that means the answer is very clear that you all are looking for happiness. But it is a question of degree. Some people get happiness in eating. When we were small children, we were looking for happiness in balloon. Later on a tricycle. Then when we grew up, we were attracted to bicycle. Then when we become youthful, a boy is attracted to girl, girl to boy. Then when you become a married man, you have family, children, then the only attraction is money. As much as money we have, then we can pay the bills. In this way, in every age bracket, you will find people are looking for something that will provide them happiness. They are searching. So most people in this world are running around here and there to make 2 ends meet and somehow or other manage their life without inquiring about why this world is created, why am I living in this world, what is the ultimate goal of life. And just like moths attracted to fire, people are attracted to many materialistic things in this world which actually, instead of giving they promise happiness, but they give you suffering in return. So all of you devotees, you are actually standing apart from the general trend in this material world, and you are looking for the ultimate meaning of life, goal of life. So even those of us who are inquiring about the ultimate goal of life, we should learn the truth with full conviction so that we will not become again misled by the masses or the mass propaganda in the outside world. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada presented Krishna consciousness in a very thoroughly scientific and systematic manner, by learning which we will be able to appreciate the position of God and our position and our relationship with Him. If you look at the world around, the sun is shining, the rains are showering, flowers are blooming, fruits are ripening, seasons are changing. All these things are happening in front of our eyes. These natural phenomena, we can see them. We are not causing any of them to act. It is not that I am ordering the sun to rise in the morning. We are not ordering the rains to come. But you see that these are all happening under somebody's supervision, somebody's command. Just like if you take a paper and put some iron filings in the top, and you take a magnet at the bottom and you rotate it, then all the iron filings will move like a ghost. Some child who is watching from the top will wonder, hey, how are these things moving? He doesn't know there's a magnet behind which is moving all these iron filings. Similarly, sun is going from east to west, and you see the water is evaporated from the ocean and then brought down through the clouds as rains. And you see the seasons are changing and the flowers are blossoming and fruits are ripening, all these things are happening. So movements are happening in this world. But these movements are not happening on their own. They are actually happening controlled by the supreme magnet, which is Krishna, Supreme Personality, all attractive Krishna. Just like magnet attracts iron filings, similarly the Supreme Lord attracts every jiva, and is conducting the movements of the world. Just like one mother and son were walking on the road, the son saw one toy, moving the hands and legs. The toy was dancing like this. So the boy asked the mother, "Mom, look at the toy. It is dancing beautifully. Is it dancing on its own?" Mother said, "No, beta. No, my dear. There is a puppeteer who is actually moving his fingers. And the puppet is moving according to his movements." Similarly, it is God who is the puppeteer, who is making all the puppet like all of us move in this world. And He is the one who is causing the natural phenomenon to happen. In Bhagavad Gita 9.10, Lord Krishna says that, Maya adyakshe napakritihi suyate sacharacharam, he says. By my command, by my order, everything is happening in this world. For that matter, we can challenge the atheistic people with a question. Sun is dead, water is dead, wind is dead. If all the three dead items, how can they come together and cause some wonderful action of the rains? For example, the sun evaporates the water, becomes clouds, and the cloud has certain PVT conditions, pressure, volume, temperature. Then the wind pushes it to the cities and all. The city, after that, the PVT conditions are changed. Then it pours down. So there is something called the Y chart. In thermodynamics, we do that. The Y chart has got ice zone, water zone, steam zone. So the PVT has to be changed from water to steam when it is evaporated. Then again it has to be changed to convert the water to condensed water. So these changes are made in the PVT. Who is making it? Think about it. How can three dead items cause the rain? Because I did my experiment in MTech thesis in IIT. I was doing a closed chamber, a glass chamber, inside which I have to hang some metal pieces, and I have to change the gases inside with different pressure, volume, temperature, and everything. Control it, and I have to make them rust, and then I'll connect the readings to the computer by interface computer. So when I was doing it, I had a personal experience that controlling the pressure, volume, temperature inside a chamber is not very easy. So I was thinking this small chamber I am not able to control, and God is controlling the whole big chamber of the sky, all the water vapor and changing and pouring the rain. So any sane man can understand that the phenomenon which is happening, dead items cannot act on their own. If you see aeroplane standing in the airport, million years it will be standing. It will not budge 1 inch unless the pilot walks to that plane, climbs up, and he sits in the cockpit, then the plane takes off. Without the spiritual touch, matter cannot act. Like I have a material body, because of my spiritual personality present in this body is acting. Similarly, this vast universe is also a dead matter, and all these movements are happening by the spiritual touch of Krishna. So, therefore, Lord creates millions of universes first, then He enters into each universe, and inside that universe He enters into each atom, and then He enters into each living being's heart. There are 8.4 million species. He enters into the heart of everybody. In this way, He is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. And how does He do that? So Krishna says, I don't do this. I expand myself as Mahavishnu. So there is a verse which says that Vishnu Stutreni Rupani Purushakyan Yato Viduhu Ekastam Mahataha Srishtir Dvitiyam Anda Samstitam Tritiyam Sarvabhutastam Tani Atpa Vimuchyate. See, this verse says Ekastam Mahataha Srishtir. One Vishnu creates the universes. And then the second Vishnu enters, the expansion of that Vishnu enters the universes, and then he creates from his navel Brahma's lotus and all the 14 planetary systems. And then he expands into Kshirodaksha Vishnu, third Vishnu, who enters into the heart of everybody and into every atom. See how intelligent God is, you can see. He sits in the spiritual world, but he has expanded and all pervading into each heart and each atom, like that. There is no place where he is not present in this way. He is watching everybody from everywhere, like that. So now if somebody says that, how do you say there was Mahavishnu and everything came from Mahavishnu, all these things are happening? So you ask yourself, you all have your father who is a living man. He had his father, like your grandfather. Then ask, any of you have seen your grandfather's father? Some of you might have seen. So if you go like that, your grandfather's father. So the source of all the family members in your family, should it be a stone chunk or should it be a living person? Very simple question. So naturally, nobody has seen anything coming from a stone chunk. It has to be a living person. And that living person is Brahma. And Brahma is born from the navel of Vishnu. So, in this way, the absolute truth is a supreme person from whom everything emanates. And that is the definition of God. If somebody asks you, what is God? The very first verse of Bhagavatam we can quote. Janmadhyasya yataha, it says. Yataha means from whom everything has emanated. He creates the material elements, he expands the jivas. Anything you see in this world has come from him originally. He owns it. And we are only custodian. We are not the owners. Custodian, for example, say one of the friends comes to you and says, yeah, you keep my car with you. I am going for 4 months out of station. So you are allowed to keep the car with you. And you can use it also. After 4 months when he comes back, he wants the car back. Say if you say, hey, I love your car so much, can I keep it with me? That means you become attached to the car. Or if you carelessly kept the car somewhere without locking it, it was stolen by some thief, then that is considered as irresponsibility. So if a car is given to you, you should not let it get stolen, nor should you become possessive of it and become attached to it, wanting to keep it yourself. But you should instead use it for 4 months. When the friend comes back, give it back to him. Similarly, in this world, whatever you all possess, Krishna has given to us. Our house, our car, our family members like mother, father, wife, children, family, children, everything he has given us. So we are custodian of God's property. And then whenever God asks them back, we should give it to him back. That is a sign of a gentleman, isn't it? So you see that the creation is very huge. It's very difficult to comprehend. I will just show you one small video, just 1 minute. Not starting only. Here is not coming. So the video shows about how Krishna expands into the material world as Mahavishnu, as I told you. I will just show you briefly. It's just a couple of minutes. It gives you a glimpse of. Maybe you can open it. Yeah. Actually, why should we talk about that creation? Because when we talk about Krishna's appearance day, today is the day. Janmashtami is the day when Krishna appears in this world, descends in this world. But before he even descends, we should know who he is. The very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says, I'll show you. Samadhi stage. Immediately when he goes to deep Samadhi, this is what he sees. He sees the Mahavishnu, who is creating millions of universes. one exhalation of Mahavishnu, millions of universes are created. In his inhalation, everything comes back into him. And that is a very long period, 3.11 trillion, 40 billion years. And inside that universe, you find this Garbhodaksha Vishnu is lying, Brahma is born in his navel. And then the Brahma is given knowledge by Lord Vishnu. Then he's handing over the Vedas to all the living beings. And whenever there's a cosmic disturbance, he goes to Vishnu and prays. And this is Lord Sankarshan, expansion of Lord Balarama. So in this way, the Lord expands. This is super soul in the atom. Lord expands the super soul in every atom also, and the heart of all living beings. And this is Vaikuntha. The Jivas, after perfecting their life, they quit out of this world and they attain Vaikuntha, where they live pure lives. So this Mahavishnu now, he will take us to Goloka Vrindavan now. From where Krishna expands as Mahavishnu. The light emanating from Krishna's body is Brahma Jyoti. Ultimate spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan. So, that was, you got an idea. So, when we are born in this world, in a human body, one can ask questions about the source of everything. Where has everything come from? Why is everything existing? Where am I supposed to go after death? So, all this knowledge is given in the Vedic literature. So, the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Janmadhyasya yatonvayat itarataschattesha vigyasvarat. One word is very weighty word. He is saying the Supreme Lord is abhignya, means he is all-knowing. For example, if you ask any of you, how many hairs you have on your head? Of course, I can say I have no hair. But others who have hair, we may not know the count of the number of hairs on our head. But abhignya means God knows on everyone's head how many hairs are there. He can tell the exact number. That much detail he knows about everybody. He knows about your past good karma, bad karma, how many millions of lives we have passed, where are we going to, where are we heading to go now. All that he knows. Therefore, his knowledge is oceanic about everybody. Abhignya. Directly, indirectly knows. For example, each of you think about your baby tooth you had. When did it fall? When did you get the new tooth? We don't even remember. But God keeps account of when did you lose one tooth and get the next tooth. All the tooth are changed to permanent tooth now. He knows about it. Similarly, when you take a morsel of food and put in the mouth, when it goes into your belly, you don't know what happens further. But it mixes with gastric juice, turns into blood and pumped to the heart, and then from heart pumped to all parts of the body. So we don't know much about these details. We have heard from doctors, but we don't see it happening, nor are we doing anything in this body. We just put the morsel of food and keep quiet. Everything else is done by God. You will see that. So therefore, one has to think deeply about how the Supreme Lord's knowledge is so oceanic, keeping track of all living beings in the whole creation. That's the meaning of Abhignya. And Swarat means what? He is the ultimate controller. Even you and I, all of us are controllers, but we are limited controller. Just like you see this mic, if this is a pole, and from here it is tied, a cow is tied to a pole, this much radius the cow is free to graze. But beyond that it is tied to a rope, it can't go. Similarly, our freedom is very limited in this world. For example, if you take a hose pipe and throw water, all the ants will be washed away. We appear to be a bigger controller than the ants, which is true. But if the demigods, they throw a tsunami, then lakhs of human beings are washed away. Then in front of ants, we are Ishwar. In front of us, Devatas are Ishwar. In front of Devatas, Krishna is the Parameshwar. In the Kena Upanishad, there is a story. It says, once upon a time, the Devatas and Asuras had a great fight. And Devatas won. Asuras had to flee for their lives. All the Devatas were very proud. They were all proclaiming that it's because of me that the Devata side won the battle. Everybody was claiming like that. So then Krishna thought, let me teach them a good lesson. So he assumed the form of a yaksha. And he came and called all the Devatas, come here. He asked, what's your name? He said, my name is Vayu. He said, okay, Vayu, what is your capacity? Tell me. Oh my Lord, you don't know? I am the one who comes as northeast monsoon, southwest monsoon, and I can blow big, big clouds which are 10 miles radius. I have such power. Oh, really? He put a grass and said, blow this off. He said, he started with full force. But he just couldn't approach the grass at all. The Vayu went like this. It just couldn't move it 1 millimeter also. Vayu felt very ashamed. He hung his head and ran away from that place. Then Lord called Agni, come here. What is your power? My Lord, I am the one who burns everything down to ashes. One spark of me is enough to burn down everything. I can grow into a very big flagrant fire. Okay, burn this thin, burn this grass. And Agni tried his best from all directions. In fact, fire was there all around, but nothing was happening to that one piece of grass. And he also hung his head and ran away. Then Lord was calling one by one. Then Indra had already left the place. He came back. On the way, he met Mother Parvati and asked, what is going on there? Why people are crowding there? Parvati said, don't go there because Lord is humbling everybody. Vayu, Agni, Indra, Vayu, Agni, Chandra, all of them, Vayu, none of them are able to do, they are not able to touch that one grass he has put there. If you go there, you will have to hang your head down and run also. So Indra never went there. From here only he ran away. And the end of that Upanishad, it is said, on that day, this statement was made, not even a blade of grass can move without the Lord's sanction. It is said. So that is the power of the Lord. He can make one small grass get so much power. Nobody can even budge it 1 millimeter also. So that's the meaning of Supreme Controller. Supreme Controller means he is a controller of all controllers. Tam Meshwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram Tam Daivatanam Paramam Cha Daivatam Patim Patinam Paramam Parastat Vedamadevam Bhuvaneshwamidhyam. He says, amongst the controller is a Supreme Controller. Amongst the leaders, the Supreme Leader. He is a master of all masters. He is saying like that. And there is no one equal to him. There is no one greater than him. That's the definition of God. So that Supreme Person, who is he? In Bible, Jesus never says, I am God. Jesus says, Christ is God. I am only Son of God, he says. In Quran, Muhammad never says, I am God. He says, I am Prophet of God, Messenger of God. But in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, I am God. And Arjuna asked, who is God? I am God, Krishna says. Even you and I can say, I am God. Is it not true? Saying is easy, but we have to prove it. So did Krishna prove it? If you see, Krishna does both Alaukik Leela and Laukik Leela, both. Alaukik means transcendental or spiritual or divine. And Laukik means mundane, material. Laukik Leelas are imitatable by us. For example, Krishna is going for herding the cows and calves. That even you and I can do that. Is it not true? You ask anybody, is it difficult to take some few cows to the forest? Krishna is stealing butter from homes of the gopis. Anybody can imitate that? Krishna is playing on the flute. You can also purchase a flute from the market and can play. Not very difficult. Krishna is standing in a threefold bending form. Even we can stand. But he is doing certain things which we cannot copy. For example, when he was 5.5 years old, he danced on a snake called Kalia, who had hundreds of hoods. And while dancing, he was also smiling. So you can imagine, if one snake comes into the room, what do you think we will do? When we were small kids, we heard one snake came into our compound. When children were shouting, snake has come, snake has come. All of us ran to our home and climbed on the top of the table so that the snake will not climb in the top. Everybody was frozen. So we were all telling parents, we will sleep on the table only tonight. We will not get down because snake is coming. But later on, the boy shouted, hey, all of you come out. The snake is killed now. So somebody took iron rod and hit the head of the snake. And the snake was twisting this way, that way, and it died after that. Then we all went with our stick to beat the dead snake. After that, we have no fear. But one snake also we fear, is it not? But Krishna was a 5.5-year-old boy. And he was dancing on the top of Kalia. From one hood to another hood, he was jumping. Like that he was dancing. And he was smiling also. And that is God. He is always smiling. And he never fears. When he was 7 years old, he lifted the Govardhan hill in his left finger. That too not with left hand, left finger. Because the tiniest part of our body is this finger. With that he lifted. To tell Indra that, your strength cannot be exerted even against my one small finger. You can see that. What is his power? Similarly, when he went to forest once, the coward boys and cows were engulfed by forest fire. So Krishna swallowed the forest fire. We call it as a Davagnipan. Imagine, one day when I was going in the train, we were sleeping in the berth, in the top berth. One fellow was lying down and he called the tea wala. He called, hey, bring the tea, hot tea, early morning, 5 o'clock. So that fellow took the cup of tea and he put it in the mouth. It was burning hot and the lights were off. So he didn't see that it is a smoky hot tea. Put in the mouth. Little bit it burned his lips and tongue. Immediately dropped it out of intolerance because he couldn't tolerate the heat. And he shouted at the tea person and said, hey, you are giving such a hot tea. It is burning my mouth. He said, I will not give you money. Get lost. He was telling him. So when I saw that, I was laughing. Why? Because the previous night when I went to sleep, I read this Krishna's pastime of Krishna swallowing forest fire. So, a Jivatma cannot even tolerate the hot tea. But Krishna is swallowing the fire itself. Think about it. How powerful it is. So, therefore, we should know God is God. Jiva is Jiva. We cannot imitate him. Can anybody make an effort to try and swallow the fire? He's swallowing the fire, he's dancing on a snake, he's lifting the Govardhan hill, and he's killing one Putana when he was only a few days old, a very big Rakshasi. So these are all called Alaukik Leela. And one day he opened his mouth and showed to his mother. That is a very special pastime called Mridabakshan Leela. One day, all the coward boys went and reported to Mother Yashoda. Oh, Ma Yashoda, your son has eaten mud. Yashoda became very worried. Generally, when gopis will go and report to her, one day the gopis went to Yashoda and reported. Yashoda, your son is coming to our homes and stealing butter. Do you know? When Yashoda heard it, really? Are you speaking the truth? They said, yes, we are speaking the truth. See, your son is sitting at your home as if he has done no mischief at all. He is sitting very quietly at home here. But he is a very naughty fellow. He has finished the stealing business today. Therefore, he has come back. So Yashoda immediately went to Krishna and asked, Kana, tell me the truth. Did you steal butter? And Krishna asked mother, Mom, do you trust me or do you trust them? Mother said, no, beta, I trust you, surely. But tell me, did you steal butter? Oh, I never stole. They are speaking lies to you, he said. So she would go back to her friends and ask, he says you all are speaking lies? They said, we are not speaking lies. If you don't trust our words, go and look at your son's face. Here there is some butter. Check it yourself. So Yashoda went and saw, sure enough, there was a little butter in the chin. Immediately Yashoda took a mirror and showed it to Krishna. Kana, look at the mirror now. Krishna looked and smiled at the mirror. Yes, Mom, I have seen my face. No, I am not telling you to see the face. What is this? She asked. Krishna said, this one, this is butter, he said. Where did this butter come from? They are all saying that this is a stolen butter that you have eaten. Krishna laughed and said, no, Mom. This is not the butter I ate in their home. How can this be the butter there? Because I never, they, because when the gopis went and again she went to gopis, and the gopis said, we never gave him the butter. Actually, you see, Krishna sometimes would steal butter in his home. Sometimes he would steal butter in the gopis' homes. Sometimes. Therefore, Yashoda wanted to know, this is a butter from our home or from the gopis' homes. Like that. So, but she was also wondering how Krishna steals. She asked the gopis that, I heard that you keep the butter pots up in the roof. But she said, your son is very intelligent. He makes a pyramid of all the covered boys and climbs up in the top, and he steals the butter. He eats it himself, feeds the monkeys. And after that, when the monkeys eat once, and second time, third time, they say, we are fed up with it, enough now, no thanks now. Krishna says, this is a butter which even monkeys don't like. He curses the butter also. So, in this way, Yashoda and gopis would be having a good laughter by seeing Krishna stealing. But today was a serious day for Yashoda. She said, when my son would eat butter, I thought he would only become fatter, which is very nice. But if he's eating mud, he will get sick. Therefore, she became worried. Then she called the son, come here. Tell me, did you eat mud? Then Krishna told one shloka. Naham bhakshitavanamba sarve mityabhishamsinah yadi satya girastarhi samaksham pashyate mukham. Is telling, my dear mother, these boys are all telling you lies. They are all liars. Don't trust them. Mother Yashoda said, but even your brother Balaram is saying, how can he tell you lies? Mother, Balaram has joined side with the boys. Don't trust them. I have never eaten. If you want, I am standing right in front of you. You can test me. And Mother Yashoda said, okay, open your mouth. Let me see. So when he opened the mouth, do you all know what she saw in the mouth? The whole universe she saw in the belly. She saw the millions of planets moving within his belly. She saw the earth. There she saw Yashoda also. She saw another Krishna also there. She was wondering how the universe is inside his belly. She was shocked. And she immediately offered obeisances to Vishnu and prayed. Oh, my Lord, my son has got sick. Now so many whole Brahmanda is in his belly. So, this is a pastime which happened in Brahmanda Ghat and Vrindavan. This is Krishna. Krishna showing the universe within his belly. Another time, Krishna, in Vishwarupa Darshanam, Krishna showed the whole universal form with thousands of heads, thousands of hands, thousands of bellies and legs, spreading all over. Nobody knew where it starts, where it ends. That is what was shown externally. So externally and internally, Krishna showed he is God. He proved himself to be God. Not only he is claiming to be God. So one should first of all know these truths about the Lord, that he is in every atom, he is in every universe, he is the heart of everybody, in his personal form of like Paramatma, Super Soul, and he is watching everyone's movements and activities. And this is his power, this is greatness. And after knowing his greatness, then we can hear about his divine appearance. So, Devaki and Vasudev are pure devotees of Krishna. And for 10,000 years, they performed penances to attain Krishna as their child. And on Janmashtami day, Krishna appears in the jail of Kamsa. You see, in this world, always you find there are Asuras, there are Devas. These two types of people are always there. The Asura means, what is the definition? Is he an ungentlemanly person or not decent person? Who is an Asura? Simple definition. Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daiva Asurastat Viparyayah. That's the definition. The devotees of the Supreme Lord are called devotees. Those who are surrendered to Supreme Lord, obedient to Supreme Lord are called devotees. Those who are opposed to the plan of the Lord are called Asuras. For example, God has given us the cow. He says, drink milk. So devotees drink milk and they offer ghee in sacrifice for Lord's worship. And demons, instead of drinking milk, what they do? They cut the throat of the cow to eat the cow. That's the meaning of a demon. Demon will exactly act opposite to what God says. So, therefore, if you want to follow the path of God, you can remember one simple formula. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I will tell you an acronym, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. If you are doing these things, you are walking the path of God. A for absolute truth, Krishna. That means we should live by Krishna's teachings in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. And B for Brahmanas. We should be guided by Brahmanas and Vaishnavas in our lives. We should always seek guidance from them. And C for cow protection. We should always worship the cow, go puja, and protect the cows, and not slit the throat of the cow unnecessarily. And D for demigods. We should know that the demigods, devatas, are all administrators of the universe. They are all servants of Krishna. We should respect them also. And we should know that if I serve Krishna, they will all be pleased. But we don't disrespect them. Like Shiva, our Brahma, Ganesha, Durga, and all these forms. Yeah. That is D. And E for etiquettes. Etiquettes and behavior. In dealing with our equals, juniors, seniors. How do we deal? Dealings. It's called etiquettes and behavior. And F means flee to the lotus feet of Vishnu. That is the nature of devatas. As soon as there is any difficulty in life, one should flee to the lotus feet of God. Om Tat Vishnum Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suryaha, it is said. As soon as there is any danger, the devatas will run to the feet of Vishnu. You will see that picture where devatas are approaching Vishnu when Kamsa is troubling a lot in this earth. So, therefore in Tirupati, Venkateshwara Balaji temple, the early morning all the devatas go assemble there. Kamala ko chachu chakakonko mato niyataru nitatu lani latano. Kamalaya talocha nalo kapate vijayi baba venkata shailapate. Sachaturmukha shanmukha panchamukha pramukha kila daivata maulimane. Sharanagata vatsala sara nidhe paripalaya mamrisha shailapate. So this verse says how Chaturmukha Brahma, Panchamukha Shiva, Shanmukha Kartikeya, they all are going to worship Vishnu. So flee to the lotus feet of Vishnu always. And F and G means goodness. Goodness means mode of goodness. Sattva lifestyle. You all know what is Sattvic lifestyle. And H for holy name. So those are always chanting the Lord's names, glorifying the Lord. So in this way, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H is called Brahminical culture or Vedic culture, we call it. So the devotees of the Lord follow this Vedic culture. And Kamsa was deadly against these items. So there is a tug of war between Kamsa on one side and Devaki Vasudeva on the other side. He is killing the children one by one. So Krishna is about to be born as the 8th child. And in the same manner, Prahalad and Hiranyakashipu, demon and devotee, isn't it? Similarly, you find Ravana and Vibhishana. Always you find Asuras Devas in this world. These two have been there since dawn of creation. So one is an angel, one is like an animal. So we also, inside all of our hearts, there is an angel and animal. So we have to nourish the angel part and we have to starve the animal part. By doing so, we wake up the angel within us. Then the good qualities will come, we'll become pure devotees one day like that. So now Devaki and Vasudeva, suddenly on the particular day of Janmashtami, they saw the Lord appeared in the jail in a 400 form with his carrying Shankh Chakra Gada Padma in the hands. Immediately Devaki Vasudeva did namaskar. And when they got up, they saw the Lord immediately became a baby, small baby, little baby, who could be just picked up in the hands, very small baby, bluish form. But this baby was a strange baby. Why? He was wearing a mukut, he was having kundal, he was having pitambar dress. I'll show you the verse which says about this baby who appeared. So, very, very beautiful verse it is. Yeah, I can show this. Tamadbhutam balakamambujekshanam chaturbhujam shanka gadayudayudam Srivatsalakshmam galashobhikaustubham pitambaram santrapayoda saubhagam. This verse says, the Lord was Adbhuta Balakam. Why Adbhuta Balak? Because this Balak is having curly locks of hair. He is also smiling, not crying. He is wearing beautiful dhoti, golden dhoti. He is wearing jewelry on his body. And is having a mukut and kundal. Very beautiful, beautifully decorated. That's the meaning of Adbhuta Balakam. And also another reason for Adbhutam is this boy is speaking amazingly. So he's telling the parents, your name is Devaki, father's name is Vasudev, and you both appeared as Vrishni and Sutapa previously. Vrishni and Sutapa. I became Vrishni Garbha that time. Then he became Aditi and Kashyapa. I became Vamana Deva. Now you have become Devaki Vasudev. I have become Vasudev. Can any child speak like this? You ask any parents, when child is born, at least till 2.5 years they don't speak. After they cross 2 years, blah, 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 something, they start speaking. After 2.5, they can cogently speak. But Krishna spoke on the day of his appearance. That. Therefore, it's called Adbhuta Balakam. His eyes were like lotus petals, Ambujakshanam. Chaturbhujam, he showed his 4-handed form with Shanga Chakra Kadapadma, everything. You see, one time I was in Kumbh Mela festival. One small kid, 5-year-old boy, 4-year-old boy probably. He was crying like anything. Loudly crying. Then I told some devotees to attend to that. So, fortunately, they were asking the child, what do you want? Who are you? Why are you crying? He was crying for his mother and father. But he didn't know their name. Nor did he know his own name also. Then they saw in his shirt, one mobile number was written. They took the number and they made a phone call. Immediately the father picked up. And then he asked the whereabouts of the child, and then he came. And then he picked up the child. And he was laughing. He said, I know that child may get lost, therefore I wrote my phone number in his shirt. Like that he said. So you can see, even a 4-year-old, 5-year-old child may be weeping, but don't know parents' names. But Krishna is telling parents' names on the day of appearance. Therefore it is Divyam, divine. His birth is divine. It's not ordinary. So one should not think of Krishna as an ordinary child when he appears in this world. Not only that, he ordered his father, take me to Nanda Gokulam immediately this evening. So then he was carried by father. How? His father was having chains in the hands, legs also. How will he, go out of the place? Because Kamsa had actually put Vasudev Devaki in house arrest for up to the 6th child or so. In the 7th and 8th child, at that time he started putting chain and all, because now the 8th child is going to come. So that's going to be dangerous for Kamsa. So they had arrested them, chained them and all that. But as soon as Krishna told him, take me to the Gokulam, Nanda Gokulam, the chains torn asunder. Leg chains also broke also. And the door opened. When Vasudev picked up Krishna in a basket and walked to the door, the watchmen were fast asleep. So deeply asleep, even if a dog bites them, they won't get up. They were so fast asleep. And ahead of the watchmen, there were 2 lions on either side. They also had gone to sleep. They were all arranged by Kamsa. But because of Krishna's order, everything happened like that. Then Vasudev walked in the streets. Amazingly, all the people closed their doors and windows and went to sleep. Why? Because Indra showered rains. So that will come ahead. So Indra showered rains so that people will see the heavy rains and go to sleep. But the beauty is, not a drop of rain fell on Krishna's body. Indra knew that my Lord is born now, and I should not pour down water and drench his clothes. I should not do that. So Indra was pouring everywhere except Krishna. Still, Anantashesha came, and he was also on the top of the child, protecting him. In case some Kamsa's men come to trouble, like that, Anantashesha can trouble him. Protect the child, like that. And then Vasudev took him. He had to cross the Yamuna. How to cross? The Yamuna immediately opened the way and said, you can cross and go. These are all divine arrangements. Indra's rain not touching Krishna, Yamuna giving way, Anantashesha personally coming to protect. Every aspect is divine. Janma karma chame divyam, it is said. And after that he was reached to the Nanda Gokulam. In the bed of Yashoda, there was a girl child, and Yogamaya, he picked her up and left this child there, and then he proceeded back. So, there is one famous verse in Bhagavad Gita which says, Janma karma chame divyam yevam yo vetti tatpataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. Those who know the divinity of my appearance and activities will not, upon leaving their body, come to this world. They will come back to my spiritual abode, Krishna says. So in my today's talk, I spoke 3 things today. In the beginning, I spoke about the natural phenomena and what we are observing in this world. They are not controlled by us, nor are they happening automatically. They are controlled by Supreme Person God, who is like the magnet who is moving the iron filings, or he is like the puppeteer who is making the puppet move and dance. Because no dead thing can function on its own. All dead things will require spirit, the touch of spirit to move, like aeroplane example I told you. In the second part, I spoke to you about Krishna's activities, which are all laukik and alaukik, mundane and divine, both. They may appear like a human or mundane. Why? In order to increase the affection of his devotees, he behaves like a child or like a friend. But he is not a child or a friend, he is God ultimately. And he showed many things to prove his godhood or supremacy, like Vishwarupa Darshanam, or showing Brahmanda within his belly, or swallowing the forest fire and lifting the Govardhan hill, dancing on Kaliya, all these things, which prove him to be superhuman. Kritavan kila karmani saharamena keshava adimartyani bhagavan kuda kapata manushaha. See, he's called as kapata manush. Why? He looks like a manush, but not manush, kapata manush. He's pretending to be like human, to please his devotees. But he is not human, he is superhuman. Yeah. Therefore he's saying, Saharamena, Krishna and Balaram, they both came and performed many leelas. So that was second part. I spoke about his divinity of his activities. Then lastly, I spoke about divinity of his appearance. He appeared like a baby, but the baby showed extraordinary behavior of speaking to the parents and, making way for going to Nanda Gokulam. And such a divinity you can see. Anybody who firmly believes with their hearts that these are all word of God, they can never be wrong. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a word of God. When one accepts this, then by accepting the divinity of God, we never come back to this world. Rather, we attain Him and join the eternal service called Nitya Leela. So Srila Prabhupada very kindly translated all these Bhagavatam verses into English language. Earlier it was all available only in Sanskrit. Now it's available in English for all of us to read and relish. So on the day of Janmashtami, our prayer should be, my dear Lord Krishna, you have descended in this world to show your colorful pastimes, and Acharyas have written it all down and handed it over in Guru Parampara. Let me take out time to read these things and understand them first. After understanding, let me meditate on them. Let me absorb myself in them. Let me develop a firm faith in your activities, divinity of your birth and activities. And let me become your pure devotee. And let me become cleansed of all my unwanted materialistic propensities. And material world and Kali Yuga is a very dangerous place. There are many, many distractions. In the midst of all distractions, let me become madly attracted to your Katha and Lotus feet. That kind of prayer on Janmashtami Day we can pray. Why does Lord come and show all these pastimes? Only to charm our hearts. Yeah. So, I was planning to sing one small song. Can I? And we can conclude.
Yes, Guruji, for sure.
Yeah. So this song is a very beautiful song. So you can see this. See, I'll tell you the meaning of the song and then we will sing. See, Mama Mana Mandire means in the temple of my mind. Raha, please come and live. Nishi Din, in night and day. You come and live in my temple of my mind, is saying. Krishna Murari, O killer of demon Mura, Krishna, Please come and reside in my mind. Day and night, don't go away, he says. And bhakti, preeti, mala, chandan. Tumi niyo he niyo Chittanandan. Oh, delighter of the hearts, Chittanandan, I will offer you my devotion, love, mala, garland, and sandalwood pulp. You please accept them all. And jivana maranatava puja nivedan. Whether I am alive in this body or I am dead and going to another body, I will never give up your puja and naivedya. Daily I will worship you. I'll chant your names. I'll read your pastimes. Sundara he manahari. Oh, beautiful one. One who steals the hearts. Manahari. Yeso Nanda Kumar or Nanda Kumar. Or means please come. Oh, son of Nanda, come. Oh, son of Nanda, come. Like that is calling. Have a prema pradipe arati tomar. I will do arati with the lamplight of my love for you. Nayana Yamuna Jare Anibar. Tears are gliding down my eyes like Yamuna river. Tomara virahe giridari, in separation from you. Vandana Gane, I offer my prayer to you. Tava Bajuk Jivan. As long as you have given me this body and pran, I will keep on singing daily at every moment without forgetting you. Krishna Murari, that's a song. It's a beautiful song it is. We'll sing now. Something has come back. Give me that Mridanga. Mridanga, I'll give it. Take this kartal. Mama mana mandire rahanishi Krishna Murari Sri Krishna Murari Mama mana mandire rahanishi Krishna Murari Sri Krishna Murari Bhakti Priti Mala Chandan Bhakti Priti Mala Chandan Tumhe niya hai niyo Chittanandan Tumhe niya hai niyo Chittanandan Jivana marana tava puja nivedan Jivana marana tava puja nivedan Sundara he manahari Sundara he manahari Krishna Murari Sri Krishna Murari Krishna Murari Sri Krishna Murari Yesonanda Kumar Ananda Kumar Yesonanda Kumar Yesonanda Kumar Ananda Kumar Yesonanda Kumar Have prema pradipe arati tomar Have prema pradipe arati tomar Nayana Yamuna Jare Anibar यमुना जरे अनिवार तुम्हारा विरहे गिरिधारी वंदन गाने तव भजो जीवन कृष्ण मुरारी श्री कृष्ण मुरारी वंदन गाने तव भजो जीवन कृष्ण मुरारी श्री कृष्ण मुरारी कृष्ण मुरारी श्री कृष्ण मुरारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे राम
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय वृंदावन जय जय राधे जय जय श्याम जय जय राधे जय जय श्री वृंदावन धाम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरे गोविंद जय जय बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरे गोपाल पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की श्रील प्रभुपाद की गौर भक्त वृंद की कृष्ण जन्माष्टमी महामहोत्सव की. So thank you all very much for the opportunity you gave me in glorifying Krishna. So
Yes.
when you read about Krishna, you can read about Krishna's greatness from the Bhagavad Gita. And when you come to Srimad Bhagavatam, you can read about his sweetness from the Vrindavan Leelas. Again, you can read about his greatness in his activities in Dwaraka Leela. And to know about Krishna in great detail, with thorough deep understanding, we have to read Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Lord Chaitanya himself talks philosophy about Krishna to Ramananda Rai, to Rupa Goswami, to Sanatana Goswami. So days like Janmashtami day are very auspicious days, because on that day Lord is even more prominently present than any other day, and he is eager to give benedictions and blessings to his devotees. So devotees can chant extra rounds, they can read some section of Krishna book, and they can enter different type of services. In Pune temple, we are asking the families to celebrate Janmashtami in their home by decorating their home altar and cooking many bhoga items and making some paper cuttings of Krishna's pastimes and displaying them, and making their home beautiful with the decorations and everything. And then they will take a video of that and send it to us. And so last time we got about 700 videos, we got small clips. And the best clips we gave prizes also for that. So in this way, everybody celebrated small Janmashtami in their own home. And the children prepared some, Agasura, Bakasura, all the demons, paper cuttings and colorful papers they stuck and they prepared. They made fountains. They made Krishna's rasa dance. They went to the market, purchased some toys and made Krishna and the gopis dance, and Krishna and covered boys going to forest. So some of them had done so many dioramas in their home, and they invited their neighborhood people to come and watch. So I was feeling that the Janmashtami was more successful than the previous Janmashtamis, when people would all come to temple and not be in their homes, and the temple would be crowded with 100,000 people. But here individually people took efforts. In this way, such festival days are an opportunity for us to intensify our remembrance of the Lord and come one more step closer to his lotus feet. So nice meeting all of you. Thank you very much.